In this video, we're going to talk about the lists in Python. Lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Strings are always sequences of characters, but lists can be sequences of arbitrary values, and the lists are created using these square brackets. And here's an example, a list of fruits, which consists of 3 apple, banana, and cherry fruits. A list can also be numbers, and lists can have numbers, strings, or both, or boolean values in that case. So it can take arbitrary values, so not that they all have to be strings or they all have to be numbers. They can be anything. So 1, 2, 3, and true. See, this is a numeric value, this is a string value, and this is a boolean value. An important difference between strings and a list is that lists are mutable, which means that the values in the list can change. However, in strings, say you can't go in and change a character. Here's an example. So if taking this nums, I can go into num0, which is 1, and I can change its value to 5. So it turns out that strings are really a special kind of sequences. So string operations such as indexing, slicing, concatenation, etc. also apply to lists and other Python sequences. Here's an example. So this is a concatenation between two lists, will end up being one single list. This is repetition. So list of 1, 2 times 3 will repeat this 3 times. Here's how it works. So here's an example list, grades, which consists of A, B, C, D, and F. And then grade 0, this is indexing, will return the character A. And then grades 2 to 4, and that's slicing, will return C and D. And finally, the len function will work with lists as well. So passing a list to the len function will return the length, basically the number of elements that are contained in this list. So let's see some more examples in the Python shell. So here we are in our Mac terminal, and I'm going to run Python shell. Then I'm going to start creating a few lists. First of all, as I said, the list can be created with the square brackets, and then here's a list. So we created this list, but we lost the reference. But in most cases, we usually create, let's say, L1 is this list. Here we go. So now what I can do is, I can see what this list is. I can also use the type function to do a type check on this. So L1 is a list. So what else? Indexing. So list 0 and then list 1 and let's say list 2 or L1 2. And if I say L1 3, I'll get the same index error just like I did with the strings. So list index out of range. However, say one important difference between lists and strings that we set. Let's say I have a list of I have a string of 1, 2, 3 as string, of course. I can index, right? All right, so it's S1 actually. I can index, but I can't assign any value. So what I will get is if I try to change a value in a string, I'll get a type error where it will say str object does not support item assignment. However, in our list 1, if you remember, we had 1, 2, 3. I can actually do, let's say I want to change the index 1 to 5. And it worked perfectly. Now my list is different. The one item has been updated. So And slicing, of course, concatenation. Let's do a concatenation example. 1, 2 plus, and let's say a, and the values don't have to be of the same type. Notice that a list of numbers or integers and a list of string A and B characters, I can perfectly concatenate as long as they are both are lists. And what else we could do? We can all right, we can slice. So where is my L1? So L1 is 1, 5, and 3. I can say L1, and let's say from 1 to 2. Here you go. It's only one element, but you could do 1 to 3. You get 2 of them. So here's another example to the list. So I have grades that consists of letter A, B, C, D, and F. And from here, you can access any grade basically with grades and an index number, say 0 or 4 to get the last one. You can slice, say I want to know, see, for example, every grade except the first one. So don't take the first 0, take the first one, and then here you go. So if you want to get, for example, all the passing grades, you can say anything from here to 0, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So those are all the passing grades, for example. So another thing you can do is you loop with the list, of course. So for I in grades and print, we want to say grades I as the index. And okay, one problem, indices must be integers. Okay, so since we did this, maybe we can just print I, right? Just print I, because I is the element of the list in this case. Here you go. Alright, so again, this was a very quick introduction to Python list. You can certainly learn more if you're interested, but however, in a later lecture, we're gonna dive more deep into lists. So for now, that's all we want to know about lists.